An AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed. Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Bill Maher looks like he's one outburst away from crossing over because he's fed up with the direction of his own side. In a heated monologue on Real Time, he went straight at AOC and the Democrats, accusing them of showing a growing contempt for the country they claim to represent. Maher has gone off before, but this time he pushed it even further. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. Let's get into it.
Let's hear it for Democratic politicians who keep it real. Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan says Democrats are, quote, weak and woke and should get some goddamn alpha energy and need to fucking retake the flag. I gotta say this. I love this new...
And here we go again, Democrats turning on each other. Little by little, some are starting to recognize the mess inside their own party. A few are even bold enough to say it out loud. It's exactly what we've been talking about here for years. The wokeness on the left has spun out of control and needs to be checked before it wipes out whatever common sense is still hanging on. You could see the satisfaction on Maher's face as another Democrat finally snapped out of the trance and began holding her own side accountable. And according to Maher, this is only the beginning.
Here's the thing. Senator Slotkin is a serious person. She's a former CIA agent. You know how every streaming action movie now is about a soccer mom who used to be in the CIA? Okay, that's really her. So we should listen to her because she's right. Lady Deadpool.
This isn't political theater anymore. It's a real crack in the foundation. When lifelong liberals like Maher and Senator Slotkin start sounding like fed-up centrists, you know something's wrong. And they're not the only ones noticing it. More voices on the left are quietly saying the same thing we've been shouting for years. The progressive movement has drifted into something detached from reality. And when someone as direct as Maher starts pointing fingers, you can bet plenty of Democrats are feeling the heat. Now Maher's about to drop some stunning numbers about his own party.
It's a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed. Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
It's wild. Maher lays out how Democrats suddenly seem to hate America whenever Trump is in charge. That kind of turnaround doesn't happen by accident. It's straight hypocrisy. They love talking about unity, but only when it benefits them. The moment the political winds shift, it becomes outrage, panic, and division. They frame themselves as the moral compass, but behind the scenes it's all strategy and control. Unity isn't a principle. It's a prop. Listen to Maher describe what Democrats claim the country has turned into under Trump.
The U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown off.
Meanwhile, certain networks are still pushing the idea that the LGBTQ+ community is in danger just because Trump is president. Commentators insist women are losing their businesses and the country is going backward to the 1960s. It's fear-driven storytelling meant to provoke emotion, not convey truth. These pundits aren't interested in accuracy. They're after clicks, panic, and engagement. It's a constant outrage loop. Maher isn't buying any of it. Watch how he pushes back and ends up defending Trump in ways you wouldn't have expected from him a few years ago.
All those old movies you think are cringe? Well, they're cringe because America changed. Because we modernized. Way more than most societies have. Our current Congress is the most racially and ethnically diverse ever. They're like a beautiful, useless rainbow. And we proudly live in a land where every TV commercial features a mixed-race couple, including the ones where it makes no sense. Mom's black, dad's white, and the kid's Asian. But here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one. They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement. They chant for the Houthis. They're chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries.
And honestly, it's hard to blame younger people who've been fed this narrative. They've been shaped by an older generation that channels its hatred for Trump into a blanket resentment for America itself. That anger didn't stay contained. It turned into cynicism and hopelessness, and now it's being passed down like a family heirloom. Instead of critical thinking, they learned bitterness. Instead of gratitude, they learned grievance. And now we have a generation convinced the country is the enemy rather than a place full of opportunity.
Needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on life support, but we still have elections. They don't. And yet at Coachella this year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, "Fuck Israel, free Palestine," got big applause. "Globalize the Intifada" is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problem.
And this is exactly the message Democrats and their allies have pushed onto young people. Turn on the TV and the misinformation is nonstop. Israel is painted as the villain for defending itself, while terrorist groups are bizarrely treated like revolutionaries. It's an upside-down moral landscape. Maher, to his credit, points the finger where it belongs. He calls out Democratic politicians who are willing to distort the truth, manipulate young voters, and do whatever is necessary to hold power, no matter the cost.
An AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, "This is not a symbol of freedom. This is."
It's troubling and sad. AOC and Bernie Sanders watched this nonsense unfold and stayed silent for the sake of political convenience. How can anyone seriously equate America with Palestine in any moral sense? In many Palestinian territories, women have no rights, can't show their hair, and sometimes can't even show their faces. LGBTQ+ people are killed, not criticized. And yet young Democrats are being encouraged to support this under the banner of justice. It's not advocacy. It's confusion dressed up as compassion. And the silence from the so-called progressive leaders is impossible to ignore.
The thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great. The Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such. And now I fear that "we like the terrorists" is the new.
Maher is finally saying what we've been warning about for years. He's connecting all the dots. The Democrats are in serious trouble. When the left pushed ideas like men having babies, zero discipline for kids, unrestricted abortion, and instant gender changes based on self-declaration, I sounded the alarm. They mocked it as fearmongering. They called it progress. But now we're seeing the fallout. Voters rejected it at the polls, and instead of learning anything, Democrats decided to double down. Now they're openly aligning themselves with movements that excuse or romanticize terrorism. That isn't just political failure. It's a moral collapse. And slowly, people are waking up to how dangerous it's become. The only question left is how much damage they'll cause before accountability finally catches up. And it's at this point that Maher drops the real hammer.
They need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them, you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America. That's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in intifada.
If Democrats want to survive, they need to dump the lies and walk away from the woke ideology poisoning their movement. They need real ideas that speak to people outside Twitter, ideas that reflect reality instead of fantasy. Most of all, they need to start telling young people the truth. No more dressing up delusion as compassion. No more pushing utopian dreams that fall apart the second they hit real life. Every day they cling to this nonsense, they drift closer to a collapse they won't recover from. Even young voters, once their most loyal base, are starting to drift. And look at the shift in the Black community. People are asking tougher questions and realizing the party that claimed to fight for them isn't delivering. If Democrats don't change soon, they won't just lose elections. They'll lose entire generations.
Girl in White Lotus who was going to live in a Buddhist monastery and then lasted one night.
At this pace, Republicans may not even need to campaign in 2028. Democrats are tearing themselves apart with every policy misfire, every out-of-touch statement, and every embrace of fringe ideology. By the time the next election comes, Republicans might simply walk in and take the win. The Democrats, once a powerhouse, are now stuck in internal battles, performative activism, and a refusal to face reality. They've deserted the working class, alienated minorities, and pushed millions away with endless culture war distractions. While Republicans talk about safety, the economy, and stability, Democrats are tangled up in debates about gender theory and identity politics. If they keep this up, 2028 won't be a fight. It'll be a walkover. And if they don't correct course soon, they'll lose influence, relevance, and the country will move on without them.
Just tell the usual suspects on the far left that the saying is, when you're in a hole, stop digging, not keep digging. Talk about doubling down on what got you fucked in the first place. Even the one concession I've heard a few people on the losing side offer, that liberals should stop saying the Trump voters are stupid, comes with a kind of unspoken parentheses. We know they are stupid, just don't.
The Democratic Party is heading for trouble. Their mix of bad information and extreme ideas is driving voters away, and the damage is coming from within. If they don't change course, they'll lose more than elections. They'll lose the country's trust. People want honesty and steady leadership, and they're not getting it from the left. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share for more.